Welcome back to the Real Podcast. We are episode two.
Yeah.
Got a lot into Nico last time. Talked about really what this is all about: real estate, expensive shit, aspirations, and some life lessons. I think we tied all of them in there pretty well. Our goal is to continue to be able to bring you that type of real raw content, some funny stuff, some jokes, and just.
Unpolitical.
Unpolitical.
Not politically correct.
Yes, not politically correct. Minus the word motive factor. If we can remove that from Nico's vocabulary, it would be a huge plus. But today, I think we're
get into you.
Me?
Yeah. How you got your start and where you came from.
Where I came from.
Yeah, where you came from.
Thanks, Dad. Thanks, Mom.
Shout out to Debbie.
Probably right around Valentine's Day. I'm November 3rd, so that was probably right around there that I came from. That's where I. Yeah. That's about that.
All right.
37 years ago.
Yeah. You are old.
But yeah, so we talked about a lot about life and things, and I think that the goal with this whole podcast is to really stop focusing on just let's take a picture of what we think everybody wants to hear, what everybody else is doing, and let's chill in the backyard. Let's throw some burgers on the grill or some steaks or some chicken or whatever you feel like eating that day, minus some shrimp scampi because of my gout. I can't eat the shellfish anymore.
Yeah,
can't have that. But
is that what you had the other day?
And that's what it was, a combo
of everything.
Combo the other day when I was coaching. That was the worst situation ever. 3:00 in the morning, wake up, gout in my right ankle, and literally can't keep anything down. Anything, water was up in 15 minutes or less. Coached that whole tournament like that. It was terrible, but it was fun.
Yeah.
So let's just jump into it. So, first off, let's just talk about some, how was your weekend? What did you do? You just brought up my wrestling tournament. So,
yeah. Good weekend.
Did you do anything cool?
Wife just left for Florida. My sister-in-law lives down there, so she took a little vacation down there.
Little vacay.
I was supposed to go, but I forgot to order my ticket.
You forgot to order your ticket?
Oh, yeah, because I was going to go down a little bit later just because of work and stuff. Yeah. So I was going to maybe do a Thursday, Friday, or a early morning Friday.
Is that why you're working so much in your garage?
What?
Because she's gone.
No, I'm pretty much done in there. Now it's done.
I just playing in there?
Yeah, I like to enjoy. I just sit there and look at my vehicles.
Pull up a lawn chair?
Yeah, a little lawn chair, small glass of whiskey, and just sit there and stare.
Hey,
it's nice.
Looks great.
She likes it, but doesn't like it because I can just be out there. But at the same time, when I'm out there, she wants me inside. We also have a 10-month-old not even running, crawling around. But it was a good weekend. She went away, but yeah, I was supposed to order my ticket and totally forgot. So
how long is she in Florida?
Till Sunday.
Wow.
Yeah, so her in-laws.
Did she take the baby?
No, her in-laws. So not her. I guess her in-laws will be my parents. My in-laws are
helping out at the house.
Yeah, so they came up, so they're helping.
So they're there helping with the baby. Mm-hmm. She's in Florida having her first girls' week.
Yeah, you want to call it that? I guess.
No, that's.
But it was
good,
wild,
especially after the baby.
Yeah,
it's good to get a little break.
And with my
she works at home too, right?
She does work at home, so she
babied out.
Aviana 2 days a week. We do daycare 3 days a week, so it gives her some time to get away. So I sent her down a little Valentine's
baby
Day.
Time is crazy.
But I still just don't understand why she couldn't have just bought, when she bought her ticket, she could have bought my ticket. She doesn't have a problem swiping my card any other time.
Fair.
Just kidding. I love you.
But that's a fair perception, but she probably just doesn't know your schedule because you
don't have one.
Yeah,
just go.
Kind of just go whenever.
Tell us about yours. How was yours?
It was good. It was, outside of the fact that I lost 9 pounds in 2 days, I put it right back on though, because I ate healthily the last last 2 days. But and I'm the head coach for the middle school wrestling team. So I didn't tell him that. He knows that. I was telling you guys that. So yeah, I've been coaching wrestling for quite a while. Team continues to get better. Got some young kids this year, but we have some studs that are seventh graders, and then we got some kids coming up next year that I've been a part of working with them. But we went to what is considered one of the bigger junior high tournaments in the state of Pennsylvania, which is consistently the best wrestling state in the country, but anywhere between usually 40 to 60 teams. And it's been the Wilson Classic has been going on since I was in junior high, which is a long time ago. Like a long time ago. And when these fences were still trees.
Yeah.
So we went there with aspirations to have a pretty good tournament, finish the season strong. I woke up Friday morning before the tournament, could not keep anything down. It was disgusting, and rocked out, made it to the tournament. Ended up taking 3 kids to the finals out of 15 weight classes. Only school to have 3 kids in the finals. We went 2 for 3 in the finals. It was cool. We placed 4 kids, 3 finalists, 1 sixth. So it was a good time. It was a good way to end the season for the school side of things. Got some high school stuff coming up, and then got some high school girls stuff coming up on Friday for the sectional tournament. So that'll be interesting to see how everybody does on that. We got one girl that I've been coaching for a while that is ranked 3rd or 4th in the state right now. So and then we got a senior this year, Tyler Adams, who's going to hopefully make a run for it. So we'll see what happens there. So, good weekend all in all, but,
So just kind of curious, you said Pennsylvania's always kind of been like a breeding ground for wrestlers. You said top state, in
always.
the country. But do we know why? I mean, have you ever met farmer boys down in Texas? Those dudes are force.
Texas is okay. They just, I just think it's, when you say Texas, you think best football. It's just kind of been one of those things.
Okay, Idaho, Potato Boys.
Idaho, Oklahoma, Iowa, those are all, Minnesota, those are all good wrestling states. Cali's got some good wrestling. Ohio, the Midwest definitely, but
get down.
Yeah. And it's just the depth, and maybe it's just because a lot of the schools here all have it, and our population, like Pennsylvania is a big state too, on top of that. So I don't know if exactly how and why it all transpired, but if you were to take, I don't know what the population of Oklahoma is or Iowa, but I'm assuming they have less people than Pennsylvania, because I can't think of Des Moines, Iowa is probably a pretty big, decent-sized city, but I probably wouldn't consider that like Philly.
Yeah. We have a bunch of those. Philly.
Pittsburgh, Philly, just where I think we're more densely populated than a lot of those places. Plus, everybody has wrestling. It's a pastime. It also is when you're really good at something, I think it becomes something you don't want to let go of. Right. So every year we have the Dapper Dan tournament, which is Pennsylvania versus the country. So they take all other 49 states, they bring the best of those 49 states that are seniors, and they take our, best seniors. So Pennsylvania versus the rest of the country.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and actually,
how does it normally turn out?
It's at one point it was Pennsylvania heavy, but it is not anymore. But I argue with the fact that as these other states have gotten better. And definitely there's some kids from all over the country at different prep schools and different things like that that are just absolute hammers. But we don't take our best kid. So it's a little, in my opinion, we take our best senior.
Gotcha.
So if you got 49 states to choose from, their senior year could fall, you can pick from 3-4 time state champs, 2-3-4 time from all these other schools. So their senior years are, even they fall however you want them. So like if there's a guy from Illinois who's a 3-time state champ, like you take that kid because it's a senior year. Right. But we could have somebody that's a 2-time state champ and is going to be a 3 or a 4-time state champ. And we can't bring that kid because he's not a senior, he's a sophomore. Yeah. So I think it would be, there's been some close years. It's more lately the rest of the country beats us, but I would say it's still competitive. Right. But I think it would be a heck of a duel every year if we could just bring our best kid. Yeah. That we believe is the best kid, because sometimes we end up taking a kid that took like 4th in the state. Yeah. And if that's the case, or 3rd in the state, where you could have at least 2 kids, but there's 2 divisions, so there could be 3 kids, 5 kids that are better than that kid and would represent better. But at the end of the day, you place here in Pennsylvania, you're worth talking about. Cool. So. Yeah. Anyway,
I guess that gets a little more into you then too. Yeah, so since that, I know you were a wrestler and you went to school, went to college for wrestling.
No, I shattered my leg, got 8 pins in the middle plate in my ankle. I had an incredible junior season in high school, and sucked a whole bunch of weight my senior year. Learned how to party. And try to lose 15 pounds every week, and just did not have the senior year that I should have had. I was more worried about some of the reckless decisions I was making, was in and out of my house based on that stuff. So it was just, my senior year was tough. My junior year was a great year, a lot of fun. That was at Valley Forge Military Academy, where I really couldn't make a lot of bad decisions. But yeah, so
they're pretty strict on that stuff.
We had an incredible team, and just getting into life, wrestling though is, I would say, I wrestled since I was 5 years old and have never really stepped completely away from it, but has the character build in that sport is just so different than anything else. We talked about last time about battling. And life is one-on-one. You don't have, like, you have people in your corner, but a lot of times you got to go fight and deal with the war by yourself. And wrestling really taught accountability, like work ethic, determination, discipline, because if you really wanted to get to where you wanted to be, or if you wanted to win it all, really, getting punched in the face and dealing with some of the weight loss, it's just everything that goes with that, the discipline, practice, extra workout, all the different things to then, go out there and figure it out. And there's nobody else but you to blame it on, which is, why I'm not like, oh yeah, I made a decision to suck to 35 my senior year. I made a decision to be out late on do the stuff that I did. So at the end of the day, those are all my responsibilities. Those are all my decisions. And I think wrestling is one of the best sports to be able to teach you that at a young age, outside of just being a warrior and a fighter, because I think that is something that especially this generation is missing, because I think it's a big part of being a man. Is not like you don't need to be the toughest guy ever, but like there's 2 sides of being a man, and one is a good, nice, loving individual like you need to be for your wife or your kids and those types of things. But there's also that like warrior side of you that like you need to be able to protect, provide, do the things that are expected of you. It doesn't mean that women don't have strength or things like that, but my belief system is that we're made different. You take a 165-pound man again and a 165-pound woman, that are in peak physical shape, there's a difference at the end of the day, and it's just what it is. But yeah, so I mean, a lot of where I came from and things that I've done to get to where we're at now, and where Honest Home Solutions is through a whole bunch of real shitty decisions, but have been able to look at myself, which took time, and be like, dude, you're the problem. Your decision-making mindset, the way you look at life, the things that you value are twisted. And I think that's, why part of it was let's chill in the backyard and have this conversation when we're talking, because like I think that a lot of what we do and what I aspired to at different points in my life was like to be the coolest,
Right.
To be the guy, to be.
Well, we're competitive. That's how it is.
Yeah, and but part of that was like not even. It was just like, this is what everybody tells me is cool. Like you gotta do this. Like when you go to a club, when you go out, like you need a table. You gotta be VIP. You gotta do like all those things, and like it was so important to me that like it was where I spent my money.
Right.
Go home at the end of the day balling out, but at the end of the day, it was out of cash when I went home.
Exactly.
But it was just a lifestyle, and part of that just became what I thought was the importance. And I don't know if that was just music I listened to or whatever, but that was like how I looked at what you should do. Like I would be like, what would be really cool is to be like the Giants, and then we're on that boat with like, super smoking hot models all around you and like 5 dudes, and like, what is that?
Yeah.
It's honestly nonsense. But
what's that getting for you at the end of the day?
Probably,
how's that? Well,
probably child support.
Seriously.
That's
a whole lot more bills.
Yeah, exactly. So I just think that mindset and dealing with that came with a lot of self-growth and different things. And I know we spoke about last time about like rock bottom and different things. So that was kind of where it all started for me, was dealing with some of the struggles of my relationship with my father. We didn't see eye to eye on a lot of things, and we battled, and I was ready for it at that point in my life. And great guy. I think as we've gotten older, we've become much closer, loving, caring, crushed the provider and protector side of things in his mindset, but me and him didn't exactly see eye to eye. We're both very stubborn, opinionated individuals, and it caused for a lot of chaos. What I thought was like normal stuff that high school kids did, which is drinking, smoking, partying, and I was like, well, everyone's going to this party, So it's just like it was a lot, and became very strenuous in many different areas, and but I think that without that tough love, I would have also not been able to get to where we're at, and been able to have the strength and ability to battle through some things. And sometimes there was times you're breaking down, or there was times I remember. I swear that this was. I did some really dumb things, and there's times where I could say, I don't exactly know where rock bottom was. It was either in laying in a jail cell in Dauphin County Prison, which sucked. But laying in my Jetta in Walmart parking lot, like waking up and turning on. It was freezing out. Both were terrible, but at least one I had food and heat. But just laying in that parking lot and being like, every 3 hours, wake up shivering, hoping then I'd have to get up front. It was stick shift. So then I had to, I couldn't just like hit a button in the back.
Yeah.
I had to get out of the back seat, go to the front, clutch down, turn the thing on, let it run for like 35 minutes, and then hope that I had, enough cash or was working the next day, bartender, whatever, to be able to just live. And it was just so reckless, the things I was doing. And then decisions that I made from there to continue to make money, which were not always the legal way to do things. But I wanted to make money. I wanted to have fun. I wanted to live this lifestyle that I'd picked in my head. So it really put me in a position where I learned to hustle. I learned that it was nonstop, no matter what I did, even when I lived at the beach or no matter what, like I was willing to work.
Right.
I was willing to do and spend the time and the hours to get there. And just a reckless lifestyle. And then all of a sudden, 24 years old, I've been in the restaurant industry since I was 15. Woke up one day with a girl I wasn't even with anymore, who ended up eventually being my wife, and great mother to our kids now, but my ex-wife, but at that point ended up being my wife, and got a update that she was pregnant, and
It's go time.
It was go time. And I think that like everyone around me was like so sick of how crazy I was and how reckless I was that they were like, this is going to be terrible. I can't even believe they're going to let this guy have a child. And I mean, there's parts of me that was like, I can't believe it either. Like, why would they ever
let me leave the hospital with this thing?
But but honestly, it was the craziest thing. And I've told him one time, I've made a post about it before, but like, I have changed my whole life because of him. But he saved me in what could have been like a road to prison.
Right.
Or
this is your dad, Kimber, or
no,
you
my son.
Braden?
Like when my first, when I found out he was pregnant. I mean, me and my dad hadn't. When I found out she was pregnant with him, me and my dad had not had a lot of communication and conversation over the years. Our relationship was tarnished by some strong feelings and poor decisions on my part, and some tough love on his part. But with my son, it was like, I don't know, like everyone was like, I truly remember my older sister, and I like I said, I was kind of black sheep. I caused some issues, but my older sister was like, I hope Mom and Dad don't end up taking care of that kid like the dog. And I was like, oh man, but like at the same time, it was one of those things where I was so reckless that it was possible that was going to happen. Like I was just, who knows? I was just, yes, I hustled. I did this and that, and I would figure out a way to make money all the time. I was bartending, I was running restaurants, I was whatever, but like I didn't have real goals, dreams, aspirations. I just knew that like I wanted to have fun and whatever.
When I think just the I mean, 9 months ago, 10 months ago, I think those are all obviously at the point of when my daughter was born. I think everybody has those concerns, like, oh shoot, like they're gonna let me, like sometimes sure. Like,
but you did it different. We talked about this.
I know, but I'm saying even then,
we weren't
like,
even together.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was a wild ass situation. But yeah, I would agree. What you're about to say.
But I think the minute that child comes out, though, that's when you realize it's.
Yeah. Yes. Mine happened like at that moment. Like when I told them, I didn't want to tell anybody. I was like, "Oh dear Lord, this is going to be bad." And I grew up like in a faith-based home. Went to Christian school for a while until 7th, 8th grade. Then went back and then went to. So it was, just I'd already disappointed them enough.
Right.
Like now I was. It was just going to be chaos. But we had Braden. But literally what I was saying was before he was even born, after that conversation, like everything changed for me. Like I don't know how, I don't know what, because I did some dirt. And I mean, when I say everything, there's still some vices and tendencies that I had that were not, I didn't just like 180,
right,
and everything
wasn't
gone.
cold turkey.
But I wanted to do it right, and I wanted to be like, no matter what I'm doing, I'm gonna make money. I'm gonna work until I figure it out. And literally, probably within that week, I've been, like I said, been in the restaurant bar industry for a long time, and started applying for places. Ended up, she was in school at Penn State, main campus, when I found out, and I went and got a job at Perkins or Denny's, I forget which, Perkins I think it was, and I was cooking there from like 5:30 in the morning till 3, and then I would come home, get a shower, and then I would go serve or bartend at Texas Roadhouse in State College, from 3:45, 4:45, whatever it was, and worked the night shift there. So it was like, but like,
yeah.
Also that was one of those things that I just, it's what I had to do, and I didn't even think about the amount of hours. Really, it was just like, I'm gonna prove everybody wrong, and I'm gonna figure this out, and I'm not gonna be like in and out of. I'm not gonna go to jail. I'm just gonna like.
You didn't
do
like that night?
Stuff like, yeah, like
you didn't enjoy being in there that night?
Yeah, a night would have been nice. It was longer than that. But yeah, nothing crazy, but just really stupid decisions. But but even in that situation, like, I look back on it, and the restaurant industry taught me so much, because it is long hours. It is a grind. It's high intensity for short periods of time, but the hours are brutal.
Right.
And that's where it started. And every couple years then, I worked my way up into a better situation. I wanted to be able to provide for my family. I wanted to be able to do the things that I'd gotten married. I was not the best husband in the world, but I was doing everything I could to like make decisions that were better as I improved our lives. But at the end of the day, we ended up going our different directions 9 years later, but couldn't be more thankful. She gave me 2 incredible boys. She's a good mom. We're local now. We're civil. It was a little dicey for a little bit, but I think that's part of life, and things that we all learn from. But from that job, from those 2 situations, finding out she was pregnant, to working my nuts off, to then my first management job, second management job, then ended up being the assistant general manager at Ocean Air Seafood Room in Washington, D.C., then came back to York because we were having another kid and wanted to be as the food and beverage director. So like, that was what I knew. And we had gotten, our GM had left when I was there. Mm-hmm. I was working still long hours, but we got a new GM, and me and him did not see eye to eye on anything. So like, we ended up having a conversation. They gave me 3-month severance package. We sat down and was like, this is the best way that we can handle it. And I was like, I'm done. Like, I'm done in this restaurant industry. It's nights, weekends, holidays. And I was like, what can I do that I can make a lot more money than I'm making here? In York, 80, 90 grand was like good money, but like, I wanted to make more.
Yeah.
I was willing to work hard. Somehow, I've always liked real estate. Got my license as a real estate agent over that 3 months. Bounced around was trying to figure out what I wanted to do in real estate.
Right. And I think that's something too that a lot of people don't realize. Like, there's so many different things in real estate. Like,
the avenues are crazy, but
insane.
I mean, I would say that most in general, it's going to fall into commercial or residential, but like there's so many different ways you can do this business. It's bananas. Yeah, it's like, so somebody, I like went to a bunch of different interviews. KW somehow brought me in and told me that like, oh, you should do commercial real estate, and we don't have any commercial agents, was honestly the dumbest thing, but maybe the biggest blessing, because I had gotten an opportunity to work with Bennett Williams, which is a big commercial group in our area, and I was going to go in there, and they were like, well, they got all these other agents over there. You should come work for us. We're going to give you all these deals and transact. Like, it's just craziness. But I believed it all. I was like, yeah, I'm in. This is gonna be. I'm gonna crush this. So got in there, found out that like commercial real estate is not.
It's a good old boys club.
Good old boys club.
Mm-hmm. And if you're not a good old boy with all the guys,
and I'm not even from York.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So like, let alone the good old boys club in like a place where you're from. But I'm not from the area. I don't know anything about real estate. And I'm like, oh, what could I do to get to be part of these people? I was like, you know what I should do? I should start golfing. So like,
and here we are.
Here we are. Peter Millard out most of the time. But yeah, no, I love golf, but I'd started golfing for that reason. Like I was like, oh yeah, commercial real estate people, I'll take them and play golf. I also had no idea that like I wasn't going to make any money. So like I'm trying to go golfing and no money. So, and going broke at the same time, like from any money that we did have saved. It was just chaos. Yeah. But I went back to Old Faithful, started bartending at Heritage Hills, and like that was clutch because not only did I figure out a way to make some extra money, I also figured out a way to play free golf. So it was really
double.
Good setup. Yeah. And that's what I did for about 6 months, and I did not do a deal. Not a single deal. I traced down a whole bunch of leads, had a whole bunch of people tell me things, and I didn't even know what I was doing. I didn't know what contracts I was looking at. I didn't know literally anything.
Yeah.
And the people that I was talking to were like doing multi-million-dollar commercial deals, and I was like,
okay,
what do we do here? Yeah. What's next? And it got to a point where I was like working more bartending than I was doing real estate because I was trying to sign leases for like random strip malls and stuff. It was just no real lucrative return on what I was doing, nor did I really know what to be doing to do this stuff, and no one was.
You had no guidance.
No guidance, and because the closest KW commercial was not even local, it was like in Philly.
Yeah.
So it was just a headache, and the whole time, like, man, I really should have went with Bennett Williams. At least somebody would have known. But at the same time, I'm still with KW now. I met somebody at the bar, and that was working. That was a real estate agent, and they plugged me in with the company that I worked for. After that, I became a buyer's agent with the Liz Hamburger team, and at that point, it was CR Property Group and Integrity First Home Buyers, and I was a buyer's agent. I did 67 deals my first year. Like, I had a mentor / friend that I couldn't be more thankful for. He's given me the ability, Eric Brewer, the ability to, have the confidence in myself to get to a point, but like just got to really, really finally start to do and learn real estate. And that was about a decade ago now. 27, 28 years old I was, and haven't really looked back. I saw that hustle, grind, all the things that I learned getting here. Legal,
just legally.
Legal,
now you're doing it the legal way.
There was ways to be able to, put my work ethic, my drive, my determination, my ability to overcome objections. Some of the struggles that I created myself in my life in the past were also things that became a huge part of my ability to deal with the struggles and obstacles that are in just what we do.
Yeah.
So a whole bunch of deals as a buyer's agent, got really good at using social media, building clientele, just loved it, and hustled and was willing to put in hours that people weren't willing to do, and worked in that situation for about a year and a half, 2 years. Became an acquisitions agent for CR, Integrity First, and was buying homes. Went from an MLS side of things to direct to seller setup, which was like a big change in the market in general at that point. And started, he gave me an opportunity to move into a position where I was meeting with these sellers, buying houses, really understanding business. He took me we walked, I can't even tell you how many houses we walked when we made that transition and conversations that we had. And man, I was addicted.
Yeah.
I was addicted to what it was like, the lifestyle it was providing. I was addicted to like the just success. I was addicted to, I told everybody I was going to be able to do this stuff, and
now you're doing it.
Yeah, but it was the wrong reason then.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was like, kind of a F you everybody. You know what I mean? Even like people that I care about or were, in my corner, it was more like I'll figure it out. Like, I sometimes want to go back to like teachers that were like, you're going to end up dead or in jail. That's what be like,
well, you were in jail. You were in jail.
Fair. But like, yeah. And at that point I can understand like the decisions I was making. And, but I always say that is that if you can figure out a way to harness like somebody that has a lot of drive and a lot of work ethic and those types of things and harness it in a way that can add value to their life and that they can, go that hard. Cause I'm 0 or 100. Like I'm off or on.
Yep.
And, that's, if they can just run into life at 100 miles an hour and the things that they want to do, like they can be super successful, because there's no limit to 100.
Right.
Like there's no stop. There's no, I'm going to build this wall. You're not going to be able to run through it because I'll hit that wall 37 times until it starts to see a crack. And when I see a crack, I'm going to hit it 37 more. And like, until, there's finally a breakthrough. In that time you get beat up, you know what I mean? Running through this. So, that's part of it as well. And you got to be mentally strong to be able to know that you can push through that stuff. So yeah, man, that's what I did. And then about 5 years ago, made a decision. It was, a tough one, but there was just some changes which were adding growth to the company that I was with at that time. And, had to make a decision if that was where I needed to stay based on the changes that were being made, or what the next step was.
Right.
And, as scary as it was, I just felt that, things weren't going to be what they were, which is no knock. It was more of just hey, this is where I learned. This is how I did this, and this is where I want to be at.
Yeah.
And if things are going to change, I want to go figure it out, and I think I can. So by the time I had built up enough knowledge, about 4 years in the business, I thought I had built up enough knowledge to still learn shit.
You're still learning. Yeah, it was still all the time.
But thought I'd built up enough knowledge to go start it up and rock out, and we pushed through. Man, like 5 years now, we're sitting here talking about it. The good, the bad, the ugly. There's been, so many things on the business side that I had no idea about.
Yeah.
And then there's so many things on just growth and leadership and We talked about last time about therapy and just being able to take constructive criticism and not get upset about it or
buckle or fold. Being able to take it on the chin and move forward.
Exactly. And I think part of being a successful leader is also being humble enough to know that you need everybody that you surround yourself with. And that was part of it as well, is that when I jumped into this thing, it was like, go, 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 go. Like, this is a hustle.
You and two other people.
Yeah. Just grinding. And at the end of the day, it was me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was like, all right, if I do this, if I do this, if I do this, if I go out and buy this many houses, if I go out, we're going to be successful. And being able to learn how to step back and be the person in the corner, not the person fighting the battle, and really encourage them. And that's been from the nonsense of 21 and the reckless life I was living to now, those 15, 16, I'm old, bro.
You said it, I'll just agree with
those years have been such a transformation in, who I am as a person, what I want out of life, what that looks like, becoming a better leader, becoming a better father, becoming a better man, truly making my faith my own. I think that's a huge part of it as well. I feel like when you go to a Christian school growing up like I did, it's kind of just drilled into you. And there's no real ownership of what that looks like. It's just this is what they told me I need to do, and this is what I need to believe. And at some point, it usually pushes, at least for me, it pushes you in the other direction, because you're I don't believe this. I don't know if I believe this. I know it all, but I don't really know if that's what I believe, because there's no ownership in it. It's just this is what
you're expected.
I'm expected to know. I'm getting quizzed on Bible verses and Bible, you know what I mean? I got a class, it's Bible class, so I got to know it. But there's ownership in understanding that, and the type of man that I want to be, and the father I want to be, and from VIP tables and bottle service, and how many girls can fit on the couch at 21 to 22, just being stupid and dumb, to how can I be an example for my children? How can I be an example for the kids that I coach? How can I take all the things that were thrown in my face and I thought were so cool and so important, with really no value at all?
None. Get you nowhere.
A whole lot of wasted money on expensive shit.
Yeah.
With absolutely no value, and teach them that real value is so much different than that.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, I don't expect these kids to be saints, or nor am I naive enough to believe that there's not going to be things and issues, but that person to now, and how real estate, expensive lessons and stuff, dreams, goals, all that stuff has changed. It's just it's so crazy that now most of my aspirations are for others.
Right.
You know what I mean? I obviously have my own stuff that I want to do, but I want to see Nico be successful. I want to see, Kelsey grow in her role. I want to see my son make a decision in his life that I don't want to make him go to practice. I don't want to make him do the extra stuff. I want to see him grow as an individual, set that goal, and be this is what I have to do to get there.
Right.
It's just huge in that in that setting, and it's been a crazy ride, as you can hear, from the nonsense and the shit that I'd love to do from 18 to 23, 24 to a change to then the work and growth. And now where all of those terrible decisions have put me in a place now where I can look back and pull from that stuff to help and coach and teach others. And I also believe that it's also made me incredible at what I do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, 'cause I can communicate with anybody. Like, you're not going to meet a demographic of individual that I can't talk to because I've been down every road. I can sit in $1 million meeting and I can sit in a house where the bottom floors fell out and there's termites, and
I think I was there yesterday.
They were cooking crack in there a couple of days ago, and anywhere in between. So, it's a blessing, a painful blessing, but it's been fun, man. And I got an awesome team around us. We've continued to grow the company. We've continued to push forward in the midst of, the struggles and
a lot of
ups and downs. Yeah. Which is part of it. You know what I mean? The strong survive. It's a thing.
Yep.
And sometimes that's like a big part of it is how hard can I really push through and figure it out.
Right. And the crazy thing is we always do. We always will. And
yeah, if you're built for it.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, we've
that
was
a whole lot of talking.
That was a lot of. I know. I couldn't even jump in the middle of it or anything.
18 to 37. I'm just like gave you a whole
every day.
Story.
You told us every day. But I mean, I guess more or less about what sort of the podcast is too. Some of the expensive shit. Obviously, you've made a lot of expensive mistakes. You've made a lot of you told us a lot of the aspirations that you're looking for and or. What they were when you first got started. But I mean, obviously for me, we talked about last time, a lot of the expensive stuff is, a lot of more material. There's some smaller things, obviously. And I know, but viewers and the audience don't necessarily know what some of the big things are that you like.
Food.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I can start with the first one. My bad. Would be, obviously, just I can run over this real quick. I own Honest Home Solutions. Real estate is my life, is what I do. It gives me the ability to be a father and an employer and all those things. So, there's not an aspect of real estate I try to stay away from. Try to have my ear to the floor and take a good picture of everything. But that's the stuff that put us here. You know what I mean? But
absolutely.
Expensive shit. I have a taste for good food, and I love it.
Trips.
I'm a memories guy. I'm not I can't really show you food the next day, except for this past weekend. But I would say I like to build memories. I like to travel. I would find much more value in that than things. I'm weird with my ADHD on my clothing collection. I find something that I like and I just buy 13, 14 pairs of it.
You got the freshest gear. I think every single day you come into the office, you have some, and I'm like, yo, what size? Let me try that on.
Never your size. Never your size. But I mean, out when I'm not chilling in my backyard, I like golf. I love, I like to play. Didn't get as much of it in as this past year, but
hopefully this.
And I like golf gear, which is not cheap. But my favorite thing, man, is just outside of the expensive stuff now that my kids are starting to want, which is bananas, and what it costs. But I love, I'm one of those guys that'll, a restaurant opens and I hear about it, I'm driving there and I'm testing the whole situation out. I don't want just good food. I want the service and the experience, and I'm willing to pay for that. Right. I just think it's amazing. Last night, I went out and it's just I just like to go to good places. I had some duck at Victor's last night in York. Fire. It was first time I ever seen it on their menu. It was delicious. But not everybody would just do that on a Tuesday. Right. But I'd love that.
And a lot of people don't have the ability to
Yeah, agreed.
To just
agreed.
be able to eat
100%.
out whenever.
And
Although groceries, I don't know if you've been
yeah,
to
it's
the
like the
grocery
same
store.
price.
It's
at this
ridiculous.
point, especially if you're cooking for yourself or
Yeah.
whatever. But, you know, I have my kids 50% of the time, so it's like when they're with me, it's great. We can eat at home, but when they're not, like sometimes it's cheaper to just eat out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love good food. I love to travel, and I love Philly sports. So
Go
I'll
Birds.
spend some money to go to been to a World Series game. Each time kids have came with me, so that's just like a memory you never get back. You never know when that stuff's gonna happen. I like to get to at least an Eagles game, usually playoff game before there. Just some, that stuff is just, to me, things that at the end of the day, my kids are old, I'm old or dead, and like they're just gonna remember, and hopefully that they love Philly sports, so hopefully that transfers over into, generational,
kids,
a pastime that they can do. So that for me, those memories are awesome. We took about a year ago my grandfather to one. It was 4 generations of Phillies fans.
You were on TV too.
Yeah.
Yes, you were. They got you.
Four generations of Phillies fans. So it was my grandfather, their great grandfather, all the boys. It was wild.
Yeah.
And just that setup is cool. So if I'm going to spend money, it's usually not something that I can hold.
Right.
It's something I can either eat or enjoy.
You can hold that.
Yeah, I can hold that. Like that cheesesteak we ate at, which was like not worth the $125 cheesesteak, but because the truffle cheese was too much. But yeah, like that's stuff that I like to do. We just drove.
We have to go back though.
Yeah, we do have
to. No, we need to
do new joint.
Yeah, we need to do something.
Yeah,
something different.
And there's also a new cheesesteak spot that I was telling you about.
Yeah,
somebody said was fire.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's where if I'm going to spend money, I like to spend it on memories, travel, go somewhere, have a good time, spend time with colleagues, Mexico or wherever. Like I love the beach,
backyard.
Yeah, chilling, have a good time. Like it's just fun. I like to entertain too, so like that's one of those things that, like Super Bowl party or a kid's birthday party or whatever it is, I like to go out and have some fun with that, because I think that those are things that, as I've gotten older, are just
Labor
fun
Day,
to be able to
Latshaw.
yeah, man, that party's awesome. Like
that is a fun one.
That's a good time. So, yeah, that's what I like to do with that. I mean, aspirations and dreams, outside of being able to impact lives, I think that that's where I'm at right now. I just want to be able to add value. I think a lot of people have taken time to put into me and committed and done a lot of things in my life. So if I can add value, that's my goal.
When it comes
to my kids, yeah, which is good. Like, you know what I mean? That's the whole goal, is like to have people that I care about, and friendships with, that are like, that's a person that I want in my corner.
Right.
And feel the same way about them, and be able to, do what I can.
Although sometimes we spar a little bit.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. You gotta have a spar partner, brother. So that's add value. I mean, obviously, I enjoy coaching. I have some aspirations with the wrestling team. I have some coaching with some real estate stuff that I'm going to be doing and really diving into. So, and to just continue to be able to spend time with my kids, man.
Yeah.
Like, continue to be able to be blessed, grow in my faith, become a better father, become a better leader, individual. Like, if I can just self-growth myself, like Matthew McConaughey said one time, like, he wants his hero to be who he is 10, 15 years from now. Like to look at that person and not what I have, but who I am, and like that be my hero.
Right.
Because, I think that is a whole thing, to be able to aspire to just be better.
Yeah.
And what that does to everybody around you makes everybody else better. So, that's where I'm at with aspirations and life lessons.
Yeah.
Man.
I know.
life lessons, we could, like you said,
It's a
we could
whole
sit here
nother
all
segment.
day. But, for me, when it really comes down to life lessons, it's faith over fear. And I've said that now a couple of times when I've spoken publicly. But for me, it's been just a challenge in and out daily. Every day I look back at life and having to say, all right, you know what, I'm going to, and faith is in, your relationship to Christ, or faith in your ability to perform at a high level, faith in those around you, faith in yourself, whatever it is. It's that, and sometimes it's everything combined, and just being able to say, hey, I'm going to rock. Like, I'm going to do this. I'm scared shitless right now. I am don't know what I think I painted this outcome. Yeah. I don't know if it's going to get there, but I'm going to hit the wall 37 times till I see it crack, and I'm going to hit 37 more times till, so having that mentality about life in everything that you do is for me, that's the life lesson. And just to be able to say, I'm a do it no matter how scared I am, whatever the result is, it's going to work out because I have faith in my ability to succeed. I have faith in the fact that I've gotten here and I've been blessed to be here. And then faith in the fact that I've surrounded myself with the right people that want to see me succeed and are going to be in my corner fighting with me and rocking out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, man.
Well,
that's a whole lot.
That was a whole lot, and we got it there pretty quick
for a little bit. Sorry about that.
That's okay. That's all right.
You're just chilling.
Hey, man, I'm a listener. I'm a talker.
Make a little Ultra,
little
Michelob
Ultra.
Yeah,
No, that's good. I think the burgers would have been done by then too.
For sure. Well done.
Yes.
Well done.
Too well done.
Yes.
But we'll wrap it up here, and I think that's awesome. It gives everybody a little bit of insight of who we are, as people, what we do, how we do it, what gives us the ability to do things like this, but also, live the life that we live and be able to provide for the people that we provide for. So, I don't know if you have anything left to say. Or
not much, man. Just, I hope that we continue to grow the audience, come in, check in every Monday. We'll be dropping this thing every Monday, the Real Podcast. We talk about real estate, expensive shit, expensive lessons, whatever it may be, aspirations, goals in these people's lives, guests that we're going to have on, and just like life lessons, what we've learned throughout doing life.
Yeah.
Dad life, work life, personal life, husband life, failure life, whatever it is, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Boss, employee, you name it. Name it.
All the things.
Everything.
So just encourage you, go through the week, focus on the good, see the shirt. I
just flip houses as seen on TV.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Come back next week.
Yeah,
Hang out with us in the backyard. We're going to be grilling something up, cooking something up for you.
Stay tuned, and we'll like Eric mentioned, we'll have guests on here I think we're planning on doing maybe twice a month since we're going to be filming.
Put somebody in the hot seat.
I think
let them rock.
We got some pretty cool guests to bring on.
100%.
Some things that we got in the works here. So again, we thank everybody for tuning in, and we hope to see you next Monday.